Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media Dropping Gems podcast. Let's get it.
Unified Media Dropping Gems podcast, episode 4, live 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Time, or West Coast time, I should say. With my brethren, ONTL Dewan. We're
Yep.
here. This particular topic of conversation is going to revolve around family, the support or the lack of it, as well as networking and nurturing the right relationships to succeed in your field of business. It takes a village to build an empire. So if you relate to this topic, we would love to hear your story. I want you to support the show by subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, like and share this video to those who you feel will find this information useful. This
Mhm.
particular show, this segment was your idea, and
Yeah.
the first thing that came to you was family. Um, why did you want to speak about this in particular?
Like you stated in the beginning, it takes a village. I believe it takes a village to raise a family, not just to raise a business, but it takes a village to raise a family. You know what I mean? And as with family is important and key because that's your first line of support or the supposed to be support.
Mm,
That's the first line of where you have conversations you get you are familiar with, you understand, you get that idea, you have that connection. Family is what it is. It's the fam I love you. If you spell out family, FAMILY, fam, and then the abbreviation for I love you. You know what I'm saying? So I love you, fam. And that's how I feel, and want to talk about that because I got a lot of family members that look up to me.
mm,
I didn't even know I have a big cousin that looks up to me, and he's older than me. You know what I mean? But
mm,
he admires the fact that I'm who I am, and the aura I carry as far as on just being someone who's understanding his leadership role, understanding his manship. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to family, I've been taught that a man leads in righteousness and a woman follows in righteousness. And to have a family is a husband, wife, and children. You get what I mean? And I'm gonna break that down in a little bit too, in a spiritual aspect of what when it comes down to family, with the husband, wife, and the children. But it's for me, family is key and important because if you ain't got nobody else, you should always have your family.
mm.
You
Now,
get me?
do you think when in terms of family, um, does it necessarily have to be blood related, or can family be beyond just blood?
So I would love for it to always be blood related, but no, family is not all. It's not the blood relationship. It's the actual relationship
Mm,
of knowing that, hey, we are in the same like mindedness. We have the love for each other. We
mm,
reciprocate that same love. I don't
mm,
treat you as someone who is, not family, but because you understand and share the same concepts, the same ideas, or somewhat of the same, you understand the structure when it comes to building, then that right there is the best relationship that we can have, and that's what makes us family. Like I have a friend, his name is Spencer, but he's more like my brother. Why? Because he treats me the same way I treat him. You know what I
mm,
mean? And we weren't born with the same parents. He's not a cousin to me. He's not nowhere near blood related. We may be family through marriage, through down the line, because of our actual blood related families living in the same area, and
your mic,
yeah,
yeah,
my fault,
you're good, brother.
cohabitating in that sense. But directly, me and him are not blood related, but he's my brother because he checks up on me to see what I'm doing. We have deep conversations about what's going on when we both are up, you know what I'm saying, or when one of us is down, we got the other one's back when it comes to, hey, what you need, bro. He takes us out for, you know, lunch or whatever, or for our birthdays, treats us with something. We buy him something, you know what I'm saying, check up on him to make sure he's good and stuff like that, like as family should, to always be there, whether to have an ear to listen and give some moral support, or to help out in financial and non-financial matters, you know, just in that aspect. And I love him dearly for that, because he allowed it. I remember there's a time where um I had got kicked out of my dad's house for whatever reason, and I did, right, and I really needed a place to stay. I would have been living in my car, but at the time he was staying with his auntie, and he offered a room for me. You get what I mean? And once we had already been kind of like knowing each other for a minute, but like he was just like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's struggling and everybody's going through some stuff, but you don't have to be out on the streets, man. Come stay with me. And for a while, I did. For a few, at least for about a month and a half or so, I was able to just bunk rooms with him. We both worked. I made sure I paid rent there. I cleaned up my mess. I cleaned up the house. You know, it was very nice and to his auntie, and they treated me with hospitality. And ever since then, we pretty much have been brothers. But the one thing that connected us mostly was because we both was producers. We was making music together. You get what I mean? And that's what kind of helped us stay together in that sense. And I couldn't be more thankful for this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a real deep individual when it comes down to just us having conversations like this, intellectual conversations, and dropping gems and stuff like that. So
I wanted to ask you real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
are you good?
what's the kind of advice do you give to somebody who doesn't have those key relationships within their family and is looking for the support but not quite getting it from them?
Don't force anything. I would say don't force nothing. Let it all be natural. Like, if you genuinely want to build a relationship with someone or have someone to be like that family, just do what you would want done to you. And that's being, you know, genuine, being nice, straight up and honest. Making sure that you know, you're open about what it is that you're trying to do or what it is that you want. Um, it For me, I found it being very easy to not force anything. So therefore, everything comes natural, because then you'll start to see, okay, this person genuinely care and respect me for the person I am, just like I respect and care for the person they are. And that's how you can kind of build that relationship, and don't take anything personal, because
Mm,
sometimes people may not know how to deal with people up close, or may not understand how, you know what I'm saying, how to be family. So you can't take it personal, but just do your best to be genuine, loving, and caring, and show support at the end of the day. And that should be reciprocated and
mm,
given back. You get what I mean? So that'll be my advice on that. And really, it is just, and really, like, it is honestly, it is do unto others as you will want done unto you. And that's that same support. And but don't take it personal if that's not reciprocated.
reciprocated.
You get
Mm,
what I mean? You can't take it personal, because at the end of the day, if you take it personal and then get mad because that person is not doing to you what you do to them in the genuine, loving manner, then you're going to change who you are naturally,
mm,
because you're trying to revenge, or get, you know what I'm saying, get revenge on that. And that's not how it happens. If you can continuously stay loving and genuine and caring like you are, that will never change, and that will carry on. And how I look at it is, I remember T.I.'s son, he said this in one of his songs about having people sit with their loyalty. They will have to sit with how loyal they was to you versus how loyal you was to them, when it comes
mm.
down to that. You get what I mean? So let that be something that you really consider. Like, you can be genuine and loving to that person, and if they don't reciprocate or show the same thing, show it back to you. Don't change from not being nice. There's definitely things that you may not be willing to do again, or not stick your neck out on the line again, but you still don't stop being genuine and lovable. And if in your generosity and your loving comes with you telling the truth and being honest.
Mm.
You get what I mean? So
Not
if
too,
like
but people don't like the truth though.
and that's because they don't understand the truth. You get what I mean? The
Mm.
truth helps you. The truth will set you free.
Mm.
You'll be free from having anger, being stressed, worry, because you have understanding. Truth is understanding, and people just don't. People who don't like the truth don't. They lack understanding. That's all that is. Like there is nothing about that. Because I'm telling you right now, everybody loves the truth. Everybody wants the truth. They just lack the understanding of what truth is, and so therefore it scares them, and they don't want to hear it. They would rather hear a pretty lie than to hear an ugly truth.
Do you think because social media is so oversaturated with so much information, so much going on in people's feed, that even your family kind of overlooks what you're doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, the social media has a form of distraction if it's not taken in the proper manner. And
Mm.
you know, sometimes we are distracted by certain things because there is a lot of information, and everybody has different perspectives. And when it comes to family, the family may not fully understand you because of what they believe or what they understand or who they associate themselves with. So
Mm.
you kind of change depending on who you are. You kind of change a perception, or you give a perception that it really is better than what they've been used to. But because they don't understand what you're trying to do and the purpose of it, that then they get a chance to kind of like lack on you or not show full support because they don't understand. You get what I mean? And it's also that also shows a form of themselves in their mirror. They looking at themselves like, why I can't be like that, or why
Mm.
why why do you feel you get to be like that and I'm not like that, and we come from the same bloodline, or we're from the same area. You get what
And
I
that's
mean?
when they tend to apply their weaknesses onto you,
Man, bro.
subconsciously and consciously.
Right. And then that's okay, because again, whenever you're in a place where you like they always utilize this phrase, a kid in a candy store, right? A kid in
Mm.
a candy store, it wants everything, right? And there's an issue with wanting everything. You can't have everything because everything is not what it seems. You get what I mean? You have to be able to pick and choose. First of all, and using this concept and using this metaphorically, chocolate and fruity candy don't really taste good together. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have everything together. You don't want to mix chocolate with fruity type of candy. Like you don't want to mix no Snickers bar with some fucking Mike and Nikes, bro, because then you get a weird taste in your mouth. You get what I mean? And that's like trying to put two things together that don't actually go together. And that's how it is out here. They're trying to throw throw what they don't understand about you onto you and saying, hey, well, if you can't do it because I can't do it, or you can't get
Mm.
to that level because I don't see how you can try to do that. And what I'm saying, they just lack full understanding and misinformation.
Mm.
On a spiritual level, it's like in the Bible it say we eat from the tree of good and evil,
Mm.
or what I'm saying, that you have that's basically what that concept is
Right.
there is good and there is evil. And then when you look at it, morals is like the definition for moral is a set of customs, or a set of principles of good and evil. So even negative things have their morals and positive things has their morals. So if you're eating from both, or if you're digesting from both of those, you're in a state of confusion because now you don't know what is actually good versus what is actually bad.
Wow.
You get what I
Deep,
mean? So
deep.
and that's kind of where we sit at with a lot of these things. And when it comes to social media is that tree of good and evil, because you have certain people uh manipulating information based off of giving you small truth, more fictitious things,
Mm.
versus giving you real truth and understanding and the source behind it. Because
Right.
if you think about what truth is when you have something that is true, it can be verified, supported, and confirmed. Like you have all of the foundation for it. You get what I mean? And that's where you would have the better, that's where you'll be better at. But because social media has it set up like that. Now it forms a form of confusion without you doing your proper not I mean research on it.
And my experience with it all is that I've noticed that from a family perspective,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have a very selective few, maybe I can count on my hand, that really, really understand what I'm going for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're always in my ear, like you have the ability to do what you want to do. You have the ability to grasp what you want to grasp. And that those selected few I hold on to, but there's also a core in me, a conviction and a determination in myself that even if I didn't have those core individuals, I would still be able to accomplish the things I want to accomplish because I have that conviction, I have that determination.
Mm.
The problem that I have with social media and when it comes to family is that outside of those core individuals, family will support when they see something that to their perception is significant within my success. That's when they want to support it and reach out and say, I've always been there for you. I knew you can do it. But then the small things that happen behind the scenes, the blood, sweat, and tears, podcasts, music reviews, other sources of information that I'm trying to provide, other things that I'm trying to tackle, they get diminished within the feed. They get
Mm.
overlooked
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
family, friends, peers,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Then people, those same individuals cry wolf when you make it and they said, "Oh, I've always been there for you." Now, how do you determine your actions from there when you are successful? Let's just say when Dewan is super successful, ONTL super successful, and those individuals start to come out the woodworks. How do you plan on handling that situation?
For before I answer that one, I can tell you right now, this is what true support and someone who say they've been there for you looks like. Um, the blood, sweat, and tears that we put in behind the scenes, the support is, hey, I'm going to start a podcast, or I want to do a podcast, or I'm doing music and whatnot. How they support you is saying when you start telling them the ideas that you have or what you have, they look into what is needed as well as you are, and
Mm,
then they find a way to give you that. Like for me, my family purchased books. They got
mm,
me books on how to have a better mental state. Book
mm,
Power of the Subconscious Mind. Purchased a G drive so I can store all of my music and all of my files on there because I'm doing music so I don't lose it.
mm,
Help purchase a computer so therefore I can have the equipment and software I need to be able to do what it is that I'm doing. That's what support and I've been there for you been, because they help you get to that level, right?
right.
That's what that looks like. And so for those who say, I've always known, I always believed in you, always been there for you, I would ask them, in what way have you been there for me? Because I haven't seen you talk about me. I haven't heard anybody say, hey, I heard your music from such and such, or hey, I heard you were doing this because yo such and such put me on to this,
Mm,
or you haven't shared something or supported in that nature to give out, to let everybody know, hey, this is my family right here and they got this going on. Make sure y'all tap in and show love, and you know what I'm saying, because that's what they going on to their close circle. Like I would ask them, like, in what way have you? Because every time I talk to you, you always asking me about what I'm doing, but I never see you try to offer anything towards
mm,
what I'm doing to help get to that next level. You get what I mean? Like that's how I would respond to that, because it's not, that's where that I would tell them, like, hey, that's not support. Then if you really supported me and you always knew I was going to make it to the next level, why you didn't put forth an effort to try to help me get to that next level? You know, not that I need you to, but you can't say you've been there for me if you haven't even been there when I wasn't at this level yet.
mm. Do you think that there's such thing as distant support? Them being from a distance, still supporting you somehow?
Yes, well, I say it like this, and I'm glad you brought that up. Distance support, that's more so, it's to me, it sounds like they talk about you, but they don't really show it. You get what I mean? They'll
Mm.
talk about you.
When you meet them in person and they're like, "Yo, I saw that video you just dropped." but you never commented or shared.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and that happens. You know what I'm saying. And again, for those of us who understand, we don't. It doesn't. We don't take nothing from you for that. You know what I'm saying. It's not like I'm mad at you because you didn't do that. Just understand your when you come and saying, hey, I've always been there for you, and then you start turning around asking for something
Mm,
because now I'm at this level, and you're
right.
looking or feel obligated to, because you say you support it and I turn that down, or we turn it down. You you don't need to be feeling in some type of way, because you didn't never show that you really did. A true someone who supports you gonna make sure you know they support, you know what
What
I'm
you?
saying, you're
Mm,
supported. You get what I mean?
right.
Like you gonna feel it and know it, man. And but that's how I would deal with it. Now I got a question for you, sir.
Of course. Okay.
Because since we dealing with family,
Absolutely.
and the simple fact that I'm about to be a new father now, but you being already in that position,
Right.
what is family to you, in the sense of, you know what I'm saying, in as a man and being the leader of the family? What is family to you, or the core?
The core. I think it's the most important thing that you should focus on. It's the number one key value to holding dearly to you, and utilizing that as the fire to pursue everything you want to pursue. I know that people tend to use family as an excuse of why they can't chase their dreams. Oh, I have too many children. Oh, my wife doesn't let me chase after this, or whatever the case may be. I got to go get a normal job. Um, to me, those are excuses. I'm a man who has two children. Um, even the pets are considered kids. You know what I mean? It's something that you have to take care of. So for me, it's the core value of it. It's the number one thing that I focus on every single day. I think a broken home is an unhappy home. I grew up without my parents being together, so because that separation caused a void in who I am, I knew that when I became a parent, I was going to show them different. I was going to apply different morals, different standards, different rules. And I don't hold that against my parents for not being together. I know during that time it was something that had to be done. They both fell out of love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But for me, it's the fire to everything that I do. You know what I mean? And I find balance. I always make sure that I find balance. Balance is very key. You don't want to get lost in chasing your dreams so much that you don't honor and respect the moments and the time that you could have with your children.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're getting to that age where they're consumed by the same things that are happening in the world, and everything is so fast paced, everything's in front of them, they tend to get lost in that space and really don't want to spend time with me or my wife, which kind of hurts us sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I find unique ways to take them off of that. Hey, let's go head outside. Let's go somewhere. Let's go have an adventure. Let's go hiking. Let's go to the pool. Let's go do something productive to stimulate the brain a bit. I even had one I even went on my way to there was this reading type of board game where we
Mm-hmm.
would read a mystery and discover the clues. And I did that with them, and surprisingly, they enjoyed it. Obviously, I
Nice.
enjoyed my time with them, but they enjoyed it so much that they were like, "Dad, we need to get more games like this because we actually enjoyed this," and that kept them off the game for about an hour or two. Even though it's already what they're used to, but at the same time, those little moments are very key and pivotal when it comes to being a father. And then to add to all of that, I think for me, or for anyone who has children, you you want your children to look up to somebody who's going to be a positive figure in their life. They're sponges.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that everything that I do, especially my young one, he literally replicates it. So now that I'm eating healthy and going to the gym, he wants to work out and eat healthy. He wants to drink more water. He sees dad doing the podcast, doing the acting. He wants to act in the skits with me. That's why you noticed him in the skit, and now
Mm-hmm.
you might see him in a few other ones. So you want to be you want to be that key figure in their life. You want to be somebody positive that they look up to. So you got to have that awareness to keep applying yourself and keep growing, so that
Mm-hmm.
way you can share and pass that down to your children. So they
Mm.
grow up to either be, you want them to grow up and be better than you. That's
Oh,
what ultimately
of
it is.
course, man,
You know what
and man, appreciate that. Sorry for the loud background, but it's hot where I'm at right now.
I mean?
So man, and I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of how it is, and that's what I knew. What I want to be is the same, is you know, my parents, they weren't always together. And you know, I had a chance to live with both of them in different stages of my life, so I got an understanding of both of them in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I always knew the moment I was gonna have a child, it was gonna be immediately. It was gonna be different. I'm gonna be there always. I'm gonna make sure that I find that balance. And for me, I feel like family, especially when you have your own family, when you, like I spoke to earlier about the husbands, the wives, and the children, when
Mm-hmm.
you have the father figure who's the leader, the person that you, the strong force that gives you that understanding of effort, that ability to do. And then you have the mother, who is the super support, the ones that tie all of the loose ends together. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Gives you that nurturing feel, and you have the opportunity to help build your children, because that's what
Yeah.
children is in Hebrew. It's Hebrew reference number 1121. Uh, it means ben, and ben is child, or it means to build, a builder. So basically what you're doing is you're building your family legacy. You're building up another form of you in a different aspect in life. And so that's how my father taught me. That's how my father was. He wasn't always like that, but he, you know, in life, he found his way of wanting to know, hey, you know, I had both my parents in my life when I grew up. My children didn't have it. So I want to make sure that I at least give them appreciate you, Emmy. I at least give them the opportunity to do better and be better, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what it's like to have both parents in the household versus what it's like to not have both parents in the household. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
that's important. But also too, especially for a man, and it's just, I feel like this is just for family, period. Your family should always be your driving force, the reason why you want to be better and do better.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're building up, that legacy, that generational legacy, that generational wealth, not just in financial, but just in the morals and the principles you instill in your children. You get
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like you stated, they're sponges, and so they take and they look at certain things. I looked up to my dad a lot, and when I was a kid, when I was way younger, I looked up to him when he was doing certain things that wasn't actually what he really wanted for me. And so he started noticing that, oh, he's picking that stuff. Let me change that. I need to change that, because that's not what I want him to do. I want him to be, I don't want him to go through what I went through, because
Right.
I, you know, my child might not be able to survive it the
Handle
way
that.
I'm,
To some,
you know what I
right.
mean? And
Deep, deep.
yeah, so and that's what I love the most about my dad, and what he has done and how he has changed his life. My dad is he's one of those ones that showed a real father. You get what I mean? He's a real
Amazing.
father, instilling morals and principles in us to make sure that we utilize that, man. Yeah, I'm 33 years old, and I'm about to have my first child. You know,
Mm.
my dad and mom had me fresh out of high school. They were 18 and
Mm.
19 years old, but I'm having
Right.
my first child, and you know, I'm in my 30s. You feel me? So that kind of gives you an idea of like, damn, man, you ain't had no children for that long. Yeah, because I knew, you know what I'm saying, I didn't want to have to have. I want to make sure I found the right person to really mate with, one. And he made sure, like, you know, we understood that, like, don't go out just messing around. Make sure that if you're gonna have children, you have someone with something you can build with, because you're gonna build that child up. You're gonna build that child up with different morals and attributes, and you want to make sure that they see what you're doing, and it's not the wrong thing, it's the right thing. You get what I mean?
Mm.
And that was important. So that's why I want to see that, you know. And like I said, you being the father now, and you kind of got an idea. I look up to you in that nature, and
I
the fact
appreciate
of
that.
how you balance your what you want out of life and what you're wanting to do, but also to finding the unique ways of making sure your family understands, like, hey, I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this for you too. You know what I'm saying? And I support you.
That message has to get across. I didn't want to have a broken home. Um, I know that had I left my family and decided to be a single man and come down from the East Coast down here by myself, um, that would have affected me tremendously because I know that my children would have grown up not only without a father, because I would have still been in their lives, but not quite as much as I would have wanted to. And then I was also thinking about another man coming into the picture, trying to instill some sort of value into them, whether good or bad, right? And that changing the trajectory of their life, so to speak, or their relationship towards me because they don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? So it's a high standard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I would have to work twice as hard to grow past my weaknesses, to be a better man, to be a better husband, to be a better father. And once I realized my weaknesses and I started working on them, that's when I decided to apply the pressure that I needed to apply on myself to keep my family together, to do the right things. You know what I mean? Because we get caught up in the BS sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
through natural instinct of what's around us. You know what I'm saying? And I've done my share of wrong, but I've been able to elevate past it and learn from my mistakes and say, do I really value my family more, or do I like to play devil's advocate? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do I like
Mm-hmm.
to play the double life?
Yeah, it's not good, man.
And
Teeter,
that's
my
not
dad,
good.
my dad always said you can't teeter the fence, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't play both sides. You can't
you
be, you
can't you can't do it.
do it. You can't
I
do it. You
can't
got to
try to
be one or
play.
other.
It has to be one or the other. I'm either gonna be the shit father that's out there having a good time, or I'm gonna stand on my two and create a strong foundation that's gonna be built for generations.
Yeah.
And I'm a catalyst in my family. I'm the black sheep. I'm the
Nice.
person who goes against the grain because I want to live a life of purpose. I'm living a life of purpose.
Right.
I don't want to live in the normal hamster wheel. And there's nothing against that. There's
Right.
nothing against that. I'm not bad mouthing anybody that does that. But for me, there's more to life that I want to experience. And in order to experience that with my family, I have to go against the grain and I have to reach for things that seem unattainable to people who've been constricted to that same mentality of they can't make it. And
Right.
because they think they can't make it, they think you can't make it.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that goes all back to what we've been talking about.
And then you think about it like this: if you're going against the grain, and you know you're showing proof that, hey, nothing can stop me. I'm doing this. This is what I want because
Mhm.
I can do it. I can do it. Then and you have children that's looking up to that
Mhm.
in them, then nobody else in the world can tell them they can't, because they have a full figure example and model right there in front of them to say, nah, man, if my dad can do it, I could do it, man. And I come from
Exactly.
him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's the principle. Like, that's what family really is about, especially, like I said, with the husbands and the wives and the children, man. Because you're building something that's strong. You're building something that can't be broken. You know what I mean? Because you're showing forth your power, and how you push through and persevere through things, as well
Mhm.
as the wife or the woman who's showing that the wife, you know what I'm saying, who's able to carry a lot of things, but still have and find that balance within carrying all of those things. And that's why I always believe in for family, it takes a husband and a wife. And I don't want to, bash anybody that don't believe in that, but I always feel that it takes a man and a woman to raise a child, along with the village. But the village, Your children have to be around the same village that you create and you bring them around to. So they have to be with the same like-minded individuals. Like if your village is not your brothers or your aunties and your grandparents or whatnot, if they're not on the same page and the same level as you, if they have their negative side that they like showing more than the positive side that you show, then that's not the village you want your children to be around. You want your children to be around that same village of people who have the same aspirations, goals, and mindset that you have. So therefore, that's what they know and understand, because then they look at that too. Hey, this is my uncle, but he's not uncle by blood. He's uncle by friendship through my dad, because he's my dad's brother. You know what I'm saying? They call each other's brother. And what is key. My dad has always had a solid group of friends that, we can go sit down, even to this day as grown-ups now, we can go sit down and be around, because they've instilled certain things about themselves that's just like my dad. I remember I'm still good friends with him, but we're not as close as we used to. But I had a boss, or my supervisor. He owned the store. He not owned it, but he was the store manager at AutoZone. And he seen me. He looked at me as his child. He didn't see me as a worker. He looked at me being like, yo, you remind me of myself when I was your age. And at the time he was like 30 something years old, and I was only like 20, 22, 23 years old. um but he was looking at me, and he was kind of looking like, I can teach you some things. And we used to have these type of conversations. And he didn't have his dad anymore, but he was really close with his. And so when he seen that I wasn't doing my part, or putting forth what he knows my dad has instilled in me, he took a lot of hours from me, like to the point where I had to work for him. I had to work for him.
Mm.
And at that time, I was living with my pops, and I had to help pay, what I'm saying, for household things and stuff like that. But when I was only bringing home $100 and something every 2 weeks, pops was looking like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? You're not able to cover what you're supposed to be covering. And what's going on? Him and my dad both had a conversation, and my dad green lighted the same thing. Like, oh, if that's how you treat him, for sure, yeah, get him right, because I'm gonna get him right at home, and you're gonna get him right at this job. And what that did was, I had to work to get my hours back, to get back 40 hours, from going from working 8 hours a week to 4 hours every 2 days, to working 40 hours. I had to work to get that done, to get that back. And the moment I got that back, that also ignited a fire in me, to where then I got promoted to be one of the managers there. You get what I mean? Like, he pushed me, but because of that same type of mentality, that same type of drive, he was able to come to all of the family functions, bro. Because of who he was as a person, and how he would like his son to have been raised, and how his father raised him. Him and my dad was really cool friends because of that simple thing. They both got me right to where I needed to be, especially as a man, and knew my potential. And I'm forever grateful. And what's so unique and so dope about it is that at 33 years old, he had a son, and his son was like supposed to be due around my birthday. But I told him, I was like, your son gonna be born on my birthday. And long behold, his son was born on my birthday. So that's a special, unique connection that we have. This person who was like a father figure, or like a big brother type person as well. You know what I'm saying? We connect with him, and his son has the same birthday as me. You get what I mean? But me and him are cool friends, and then him and my dad are cool friends, because they share the same type of man morals of knowing how to raise a man up and take care of his responsibilities, and which is including family or whatever else responsibility it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we mean by having a village to raise your child. Because if he didn't push me to that level, it's not that my dad wouldn't have pushed me, but my dad wouldn't have been as effective from my dad. I probably would have been trying to find another job just to go back and be the same lazy again, rather than him saying, no, I'm going to help you get to that level, and I'm going to tell your dad why I'm doing this. And then for my dad to go ahead and say, man, go ahead, do what you got to do. He needs to get right. And that happened. You get what I mean? And when you have individuals like that support you, You know what I'm saying? That's who you can call family, man. And you know what I'm saying? And to this day, I call him my family at the end of the day. He's like an uncle and big brother to me.
Now, if for someone who doesn't have that, what do you think they should be searching for when they don't have that kind of person to look up to, close relative, father figure, etc.? What's the next thing after that to look for when you
Themselves, within
themselves?
themselves, yeah, within yourself. If you know for sure that you want better, and you don't want to be what you what others may think of you, or lacking that sense, you should definitely look into yourself and see what can you change about yourself. and
Mm,
and I can guarantee you that the right person will come around to actually help give you that push and support, because you're looking for it in yourself. And so when you see it within yourself, you will see it in somebody else.
mm, whew, dropping gems, boy,
That's what we
dropping
doing
gems.
here, man, because that's what it was for me. I knew I wanted better, and I wanted to become a manager, or I knew I always had a leadership role about me. I just didn't know how to approach it or how to get it. And because of that time, every time, any place that I put myself in, I've always ended up being the type of leader role. Like even now, other jobs that I went to, I never stayed at the low level. I always moved up in management role. I became a supervisor quickly, and I mean in months. They look at me and be like, damn, he can put, the work ethic is good, he know how to maneuver, he know how to carry himself,
You know how to
and
handle it.
also
You know how to handle a team,
team.
manage a
And
team.
exactly, I know how to handle a team and get people motivated to do the same thing, and inspired to want to be to that level too. I have other people look up to me to become team leaders or to become in the management role, just because they see me do it, and they infectious. I'm infectious with my spirit, and they look at it like, yo, man, you super cool, how do you do this? And I'm just like, because I know this is who I am and what I want to do. I want to be inspirational to others, to show you, hey man, we can do it, especially people of my color. You know what I mean? Like, even though that's not what I look at, but that still is a factor in it. A lot of people of my color, or even being Hispanic, Puerto Rican or whatnot, they don't look to see us in management roles, man. They look to see us just as the regular workers, when we are natural born leaders in a lot of things, especially as men. You get what I mean? And we can do that. So, that was a great inspiration there, to get to that level. And so I would say, like, if you really want change, or you want to be what you want to be, the change you want to see. That's
Mm.
that's what I've been hearing for the last few years, is be the change that you want to see. So you got to change yourself, and then those around you will see that, and you will start attracting those type of people around you if you
And
don't have that person.
that's happened. That's happened to me when I moved down to Oklahoma. Um, I wanted a fresh new start. It was more so for mental clarity, for to clear my mind, and to really get at it on another level. You know what I'm saying? And not be consumed by the multiple distractions that I had in the city. And when I came down here, the first thing I did was hit the gym. I became the personal trainer and supervisor there. I started off on the
Nice.
computer, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
front desk, and then moved on to personal training and supervising. And then that's when I met a gentleman named Timothy Tart, Dr. Timothy Tart. He's working on getting his doctorate recently. And he'll end up probably being a special guest on the podcast.
Nice.
Very bright individual, you know what I mean? Very book smart, very educated, has huge visions and dreams that can seem unrealistic to some, but I understood it from somebody like myself who has visions and dreams and are is applying himself to reach for those goals. And we connected on that level. And the first thing he told me, he was like, "You don't have an ego as a personal trainer," because he was like, guys that are in the gym, they have huge egos. You know what I mean? They have
Hmm.
this kind of chip on their shoulder less that's less confident and more arrogant. But you carry yourself so humble. And he was like, it's even beyond just health and fitness for you. You kept talking to me about the your mind and why the mind is so important. And I remember I was telling him, I was like, I would give it to him in bits and pieces. Like the first thing I would tell him is like, you can't come into the gym with your mind and your thoughts racing and being consumed by whatever you're going through in your personal life, and trying to come into the gym to work out, right? Because when you come into the gym with your mind fluttered that way, you're not really paying attention to the technique and the way you're supposed to be working out. Why do you think so many people that go into the gym, you see them working out and they're not getting any results?
Right.
It's because your mind has to be so clear and so focused on that particular moment and that particular technique for you to actually start to see the growth within your muscles, within your frame, within your body stature. And then I was sending him ideas of books. I was sending him influencers, positive people to follow on Instagram. Start soaking up different information. His roommate was toxic. I said, eventually you're gonna have to move out. He did. He found a different roommate. And then from there, I pushed him and I said, you don't even gotta be with this person no more. Get on your job the way you're supposed to and go get your own place. And sure enough, he was able to get his own place, and I helped him move his stuff to his new place. Now
That's
he's
hard.
at peace. Now he's at peace in his own space, right? He sets up his structure in a way where it's like it reminds me of Jeff Bezos when he was in the garage building Amazon. He has a structure like that in his household with a shelf full of books, continues to educate himself. He's 30, either 37 or 38 years old. And he's applying himself that 2 years ago he literally didn't have his own place, didn't have a nice truck. And I mean, those are all material things, but
You bet.
regardless of the fact is that he was able to elevate himself past that mental space that he was in, because I saw the potential in him, and in retrospect he saw the potential in me. And it's like what you said, it's like when you decide to look within yourself and want to grow, you attract that same individual. And that's what I found in Mr. Timothy Tart.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. That's and see that's the beauty of it, because it's needed. Like I know some people may not believe in energy, but energy is everything. It takes energy is the ability to apply force, exert energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what force and that's what power is. Energy is power. Power is energy. So, when you turn your light switch on, now you have power to your room. You have energy coming through the room that is spewing out because it's electrical. It's electrifying, right? Our bodies are made of water. So water is a conductor of electricity and energy. So, you have to think of things in this manner. And that's what happens when you change your mindset, or when you change how you are from within side, you change from what is on the outside. You get what I mean? But you have to be able to see that and know that. And when it comes down to applying or putting forth that effort, it's funny we keep using that word, but
The song is right around the corner.
the
Make
song
sure
is
make sure you go see the premiere. The premiere this Tuesday. I'm pushing him to drop it this Tuesday, the premiere. So you guys can hit that notification bell, hit that subscriber list
gonna be on
on
YouTube.
YouTube, and ONTL on YouTube, ONTL Entertainment on
Nah, it's
YouTube, correct?
yeah, it'll be ONTL Entertainment, but it'll be on my personal page, ONTL Dewan, just like you see down at my at the name in yellow. So it'll be at ONTL Dewan. I have the official YouTube page that'll be coming out, and the video was shot and edited by Dopamine Media. The their name speaks for itself, and they're really
Absolutely.
dope at what they do. You know what I mean? So is yeah, but life comes with that, man. Effort is about that, and that even goes in with family. When it comes down to your family, like one of the things we were going to talk about too is nurturing that relationship, nurturing that, really making sure that, like I stated earlier, you want to have that truth and open conversation. You want to be able to share how you feel. And if you felt some type of way, but you were able to talk about it. See, me and JR, we have a great relationship now. A lot of people know and some people may not. Me and JR have never met in person. We have not physically met in person at all, but due to us having the same vision and mindset and wanting to be the best that we both can be as males and individuals, we nurture our relationship based off of that, because
Mm,
we have the same like-mindedness. We come, we talk to each other, we be honest with each other, we ask each other questions when it comes to certain things. We share information back and forth. You know what I'm saying? We really try to hold on to that relationship. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, we're helping each other out, because just like I want to see him win, he wants to see me win, and vice versa. That's the type of thing you want to have, that type of relationship with people, and that's who you want to consider as family. You get what I mean? I'm pretty sure me and JR are going to be officially family
oh
very,
yeah.
very soon when we meet, but right now we're in the process of building that. You get what I
Hmm.
mean? And that's the beautiful part about it. um you to nurture your family, man, like I said, you got to be open and honest. You got to be you And that's with anybody, honestly. You got to be open and honest with everything, and if you don't know or you're not clear on something, you know, ask for clarity, get understanding. With all thy getting, get an understanding, because if you don't have an understanding, you don't know, then you're sitting there looking in the dark, and you don't know what you're looking at, and you don't even know if it's true. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So you want to nurture relationships, and it goes beyond just you know, friends and family. It goes into business.
Yeah, business, colleagues, peers, everything creates a village. Everything
Yeah.
creates a strong village to build an empire. And I find it very unique that I what I tr- what I tend to do is when I nurture particular relationships and particular friendships that I'm growing,
Mm-hmm.
I'll I'll nurture the ones and that I know that I can see that are going to be long term.
Mm-hmm.
I stick to those. The Dewans, the Timothy Tarts. There's even a few where it's like you may think that they're not going to quite work out just yet, but you're giving that person space to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to give them space to grow because I believe that sometimes, you know, you can't just give up on people so suddenly. You know what
No.
I mean? Because I'm not perfect. Would
Right.
I want somebody to give up on me if I did something wrong
Hell
that I
no.
know that I can come from and do better by? You know what I mean? But there's also has to be a level of understanding and to know to just have respect for yourself and respect for others. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So that way you can give that person the space to grow. Right now, before we get into the halftime and really cling down on networking and nurturing key relationships, I know you mentioned something about spirituality. um, what was it particular about spirituality that you wanted to touch base on?
um spirit is your true nature, your true spirit. You get what I mean? Who you are when nobody's looking.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Who you are when you sit around by yourself. The God in you. God is a spirit, not a physical person, because we all are physical human beings, but we all have a soul, a spirit. And spirit is what you would consider like your history,
mm,
your story. You get what I mean? That's what you built off of, your based off of your experiences, your information that you gain, the things that you digest or you take in. That's what your spirit, that's what carries you, who you are as a person. And when your spirit is in need of growth,
mm,
you tend to find that what helps calm your spirit,
mm,
calm you down, give you the opportunity to witness or become a witness in your growth. Spirit, everything has a spirit, because God made everything you see and don't see, right?
mm,
Everything has history, everything has a form of interaction, a cause and effect. Because of this is the result, right?
mm,
And so when you tend to understand that about yourself, or you tend to give yourself that opportunity to be in tune with your spirit of who you are, what you understand about yourself, what you like and don't like about yourself, what you want to change from yourself, or you when you're able to change who you are internally in your spirit, the way you carry yourself, how you, like you stated earlier, your humbleness. You're not cocky, you're confident. When you change that about who you are, it speaks volumes. People read that, they can see that, they can feel it, because that's what a spirit is. It's a form of energy.
Mm,
And that's one of the key things in order for you to have or build a relationship. That's one of the ways that you'll know who you are connected with family wise. Like, a lot of my family is not family because they're blood, because we're blood. I have spirit family. I have a spiritual family. You know what I mean? We're connected by the spirit, by what we believe in and what we carry ourselves with. That's what makes us family. Because if you think about it like this, we use the term family members. Well, you
mm,
if you think about that word member, right? A member, you have family members, you have body parts that are members of the body, your arms, your fingers, and things like that. You want to be connected to those things. You want to, or being a member of this party or this business or being that, you know what I'm saying? You all are connected. Why? Because you all are put in a place, or you all are coming from the same type of spirit mindset, the drive and the will to be somewhat of the same, or have the same effective force, effective spirit. You get what I mean? So that's what I mean by being a spiritual. I'm spiritual in a sense of finding understanding, connecting on a level of mentally and emotionally, because that's part of being a spirit. My spirit is connected by a mentality and emotional effects, not just my emotions. um haven't being a member of some of a group, or a group of people that we all have the same love or the change for each other. Because that's another, what a love means. Love is a form of change, because if you look up the word love, it'll tell you it means the affect, but it also means effect, and effect is a result. So when you say you love someone, you say you a change for them, and it doesn't mean you change who you are. It just means you change the perspective of how they can see you, so it's a better one, not a worse one, or not the negative side of it. You get what I mean? And those are the type of ways you connect, because spirits, they travel forever. Our bodies, we lose, because these are vessels. They
mm,
hold our spirit, but our spirit lives forever. And when I say spirit lives forever, you all have people that you were fully connected with or closely connected with, and you find yourself doing certain things like them they did when they were here, or you find yourself doing or saying things or acting in certain ways that they were, because that's what connected you was the spirit. And so that's what I mean by being spiritual and having spirit, and being a part of the spiritual family, man. Is, what I'm saying, who you are as your experiences and your understandings of yourself.
mm. That's break. Well, listen, dropping gems,
Yes, sir.
dropping gems. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like and share the video to those who will find this information useful. It's very, very important, because that's what we are doing. We're providing insightful information from our perspectives, our life, our journey,
Our
the things that we've been,
experiences.
our experiences, what we consume, the things that we read, and we continue to educate ourselves. We continue to grow, and we provide that right here on the podcast, so you can connect with us and share this with others alike. Before we get into intermission, do you think when you saw my family that time on Times Square, your spirit and energy was calling towards those individuals of wanting to know why they were so hype?
Bro, it did, because they were standing next to us, and we're all looking at the billboard. A lot of times, when you're standing next to people you don't know, it can be a little socially awkward. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right, right, right,
you
right.
don't know these people, so you don't want to try to just find a way to connect, or try to find something to talk about or whatever. Because
Who engaged the first conversation?
it was Juan actually did. Juan was the one. He seen your dad, and your dad. I was filming because we were we were up there for Amada Apparel and what that billboard. But your dad was the one who was like, "That's my son, that's my son." And Wan looked over, he was like, "That's your son?" He was like, "Yeah, that's my son." And it started from like that, and then your aunties and everybody else chimed in and was, and we just started having a conversation. I mean, and it got to a deep conversation to the point where, what I'm saying, they fell in love with us as a spirit, and they want to start following us. And that's why, what I'm saying, we connected that way, because they was like, "Man, y'all from the East Coast, but y'all from the West Coast, but y'all like, y'all, oh, I feel like y'all belong over here, like y'all from this side." You get what I mean? Like, y'all from the East Coast. And
That's incredible.
but yeah, that's what it, your family's energy, your family's spirit, and and what they had for you, and the way they were going hard for you, man, it was what attracted us and made us like really say, "You know what, like, man, yeah, let me nurture this, let me try to get what's going on with this, and I want to be able to support." Because the way they were supporting you is like, shit, I gotta support this dude and what he's doing too, because whatever he's doing, he's doing something good, especially when family supporting.
Man, and those are the core individuals. Those are the core people that I speak about, that I spoke about earlier. You know what I mean? You hold on to those particular individuals, whether family, friends, peers, whatever, immediate family, spouse, etc. But I want to say this before the halftime. You have to have a strong conviction. I'll say it again: strong determination, strong willed, uh, tunnel vision,
Mm-hmm.
discipline, commitment,
Mm-hmm.
all the cliches that you can think of, deep down rooted in your soul, because there's going to be ups and downs in your personal journey when you're chasing your purpose. But there's always going to be signs given to you that you're within your purpose.
Mm. Ooh.
The spirit will
Ooh.
give it to you. The spirit will give it to you.
Yes.
And if you deter from that lane, it'll kind of smack you right back into it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Mm-hmm.
put you right back into it. You know what I'm saying? And coming down here, there isn't a music scene whatsoever. There isn't a music scene whatsoever. There's a space for it. But when I dove into the acting scene, um, my spirit was drawn to that form of creativity, being able to perform on stage, entertaining people. I jumped into improv, and I was performing in front of people, doing improv with all my colleagues on stage. That's what I started doing down here. And then I went to a networking event nearby when they were trying to pass the bill to get funding from the state to start providing a school to teach people the profession of the industry, the film and the business aspect of the filming industry. The bill got passed and got accepted. I went through the school, through the classes, network, met the studio owner who owns a $600,000 movie studio out here, but that's connected to LA, ironically. And
Mm.
they worked with Disney, Lionsgate, and Paramount for over 20 years in the industry, and they created their own movie studio out here. Long story short, you know, you have to be able to, you have to make sure that you have to move to your beat. Don't sit around standing still thinking that it's gonna come to you. Um, because you are your biggest, you're gonna be the root to everything that occurs in your life. So if you stand still and you speak to yourself in a way where it's like you don't know what the outcome is gonna be, you're not confident enough, whatever the other voice is that's deterring you to not plant your feet and move forward and actually apply yourself, you won't know the outcome unless you move your feet. And there was a time when I wasn't moving my feet. I just liked the idea of acting. I
Mm.
liked the idea of being on television. I liked the idea of, potentially being on Netflix, being in a movie. I just liked the idea. But then once I got past out of my comfort zone and I started moving my feet, I noticed that no matter who you're dealing with across your journey while you're fulfilling your purpose, they are people. Remember
Mm-hmm.
that you're just going to be going against other people that are in this space, and whether they are driven by ego or not, You have to have humility and grace and to not take anything personal in the business, because there are going to be waves of crazy energy that's going to hit you in this space, where it's going to make you want to quit, make you want to question everything that you're thinking about, making you want to question whether or not this is for you. But all I'm going to say is this: eventually you're going to get past that phase and you're going to be explosive. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And even within the small steps, you're still explosive, because you get those people like the last time we spoke off air, when we said to each other, we have those individuals that believe in our talent so much that they say, "Oh, you have a potential to be this. You have the,
Mm-hmm.
you remind me of this person. You remind me
Mm-hmm.
of that person that's super successful." Those things you also hold on to. So you hold on to the core people that believe in you. You hold on to those comments that come across your journey. You apply yourself through those steps, because you don't know the outcome unless you apply those steps. You hold yourself back from everything that you want to do. You hold yourself back. And when you start moving within that grace and you start moving within that confidence space and you start getting past your fears, there's going to be so many doors that are going to open up, so many that are going to close, but so many more that are going to open up.
Whew. Hey, I like to always say, you can't have change without change, man.
Mm, mm.
Let's get into this intermission.
This is going to this is off topic, this particular intermission, but I want to tip my hat off to you, Dewan, for sending this book in. This is Brendan Kane, How to Get 1 Million Followers. This is him on another podcast. We're going to play this for about 5 minutes, digest this quick information, because I know on the playback, there's going to be a lot of creative people that may come across our podcast, and would like to hear and dissect this information. This is How to Get 1 Million Followers by Brendan Kane.
How do you do it?
Well, I mean, at a very simple high level, is you create a piece of content, you put it in front of somebody, and that motivates them to click the follow button. That is the simple way to do it. Now, it's not necessarily easy, because there's a lot of nuance that comes into specifically the content side of things. There's many different ways that you can do it. You can do it through paid acquisition, through paid advertising, distribution of content through other channels or influencers, giveaways. You can do it that way, or you can do it purely through the content and playing to what the algorithms are looking for and get mass reach, because the algorithms deem your content as playing to the goals that they've set forth. We've done it every single way. We've tested every single way. We continue to test every single way. But first and foremost, it comes down to what is the piece of content that is going to motivate or inspire somebody to be like, I need to go and follow this account.
Yeah, well, that's interesting just in and of itself. You kind of lifts it off like 4 big buckets there: paid, influencers, giveaways, and organic. And like, when I think about my personal journey, like, we had 6-figure followings, and then we sold our accounts when we sold our company back in 2018. I actually had to start over in 2018. And most of the followers that we have now are from influencers. They have come from just our network, appearing on other people's shows. We've never done a giveaway. We do organic. We've never done paid. So let's talk about paid. If you had, let's say you had $20,000, and I would say, okay, I'm going to put $20,000 aside sheerly with the objective of growing my reach and growing my following. How would you spend that 20 grand?
It depends on the business. So it's a great question. And the first place that I always start when working with a client is really understanding the fundamental goals. Okay. Because there's a lot of people out there that will think, okay, if I get 10,000 more followers, 100,000, 1 million followers, my business is going to take off. I'm going to sell a bunch of product. my profit margin is going to go through the roof. I'm not going to sit here and say that that never happens, but it's a longer term play. Like building an audience is a longer term play for the business. So if it was a business to be like, I need leads, I need revenue, I need to generate profit, then we're going to take that $20,000 in work on lead gen campaigns or conversion based campaigns to drive that revenue, drive that profit that can then be reinvested in the growth. Because is it as effective if you sell a product and correlate that purchaser into a follower versus going straight after a follower? No, but does it happen? Yes. Like if you sell a lot of product through paid acquisition, it will lead to followers if your product really resonates with them, if your brand does. Now, let's just put that aside. That's the first step that I take. Now, if we're just like, no, we've got our revenue, we've got our lead gen campaigns, we've got all of that set up, I just want to go after followers, then it heavily dictates the platform that you're going on. But one of the most successful ways that we found, and you've alluded to it because you did it organically, is if you have other people sharing your content on their channels, that will lead to follower growth. It's all a distribution model. It's like, how can I get my content distributed on other channels that will lead back to mine? And there's several different ways. Like you said, organically, I do interviews on podcasts, or I'm friends with influencers, or work with influencers, and they talk about me in their posts, or they have me on their podcast, or they talk about me on their stories. That's one way of doing it. A second way of doing it, one of the successful ways with Instagram is meme accounts. You know, accounts that are all around a specific niche. Like there's meme accounts around quotes, like the good quote, or inspirational pages like Note for Me. There's ones around food or fitness and things like that. And that whole ecosystem is built off of selling advertising, quote unquote, like a shout out on their account to correlate back to the followers. So if you don't have those influencer connections, meme accounts are kind of that next best thing, the next best tactic that you can do. You can leverage the paid advertising networks, but we haven't really seen a high enough conversion rate to warrant the spend behind that. I'm not saying that I haven't heard of people having success with it. We've tested extensively ourselves. Facebook, super easy to use those platforms for follower acquisition. The other platforms, not so much. But I think at the high level, we look at just how do you get your content distributed across. And let's look at some larger examples. Is like you look at The Rock, for example, who I think is still like the most followed person on Instagram. People will say, well, he grew that completely organically. No, he didn't. Every movie he's in, that marketing budget for that movie is $100 million plus. He was in the WWE for years. That company, you know, spends tens of millions of dollars to market their people. Or if you follow tennis, recently a young girl, an 18-year-old girl, won the US Open. She went from, I think, like 100 or 200,000 followers to 2 million followers in a 2-week span.
Wow.
Because of that distribution of her being on television. There was another breakdown that I saw a guy hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He did a collaboration with Mr. Beast. So if you want to just think about generating followers at a high level, it's all about how can I get my content distributed in front of the audience that I want, and making sure that that story or that connection to that content they're seeing will correlate back to them saying, well, I want to follow this account. So it's like what I learned early on in the movie industry when I first started is go where the traffic is, don't start it from scratch. And even the core social platforms we're talking about were built this way. So YouTube was sold for $1.7 billion, and I think it was under 24 months. How did they do that? Well, the predominant player at the time was MySpace, and MySpace didn't have a video player. So YouTube had created one of the first embeddable YouTube players. So people that had MySpace profiles would see their friend upload a video to YouTube or take a movie trailer or something, put it on their profile. And then when you saw your friend had one, you would click the YouTube logo because you're like, I want one. So that's how YouTube scaled their traffic so quickly, is harnessing the traffic of a different source. The same principles apply to growing a social following. And as we mentioned, there's many different ways that you can get your content in front of people, but it's all about how do we get our content, our brand, our message out to where the traffic is, and then drive it back to follow our account.
Wow. Yeah, that is such a simple but powerful concept. It's interesting. And so when I said if I was going to put money into it, your thought would be not going promote your page or take a piece of content and like boost it or run it as an ad on Facebook or Instagram. But your thought would be to go, where can I find like a meme account? More like you're paying an influencer or you're paying whatever you could, whoever that person, more like a brand deal rather than run it as advertising. How do you find those? How do you find those accounts, and then how do you contact them and like get their rates and pricing and stuff?
Yeah, finding them is just searching. Like, one of the greatest assets and the reasons that we're successful that I find other people don't do is we are constantly doing research. Like, I've been in the social media space since 2005. And still to this day, me and my team are always passing references back and forth, looking at content creators. And if you do that, it's pretty easy to find.
So yes, we're back from the halftime show. That was a clip of Brendan Kane, who is a social media marketing expert. Thank you, Dewan, for sending that piece into the Unified Media Group and providing that information, because my book is coming in at any day now.
Man, you got it before I did, man. But that's good though. I mean, you know, and I that's one thing that I notice about myself. And to speak really quickly in regards to that, that's why I wanted to be on Dropping Gems, man, because I know for a fact that what I do is I don't have a page, a niche page of motivational quotes. However, I have a motivational app that sends me quotes every day in regards to confidence. And so I post those things, and what happens is, due to me posting those things, the algorithm has changed to where a lot of my content that I see on my page revolves around that confidence and motivational quotes and things of that nature. So therefore I can utilize that, because I knew I was a person with motivation, or could be motivational, inspirational. So I just wanted to see, you know, a lot of times I can use my own words, but I'm more better utilizing my gems on a live event like this, than, you know what I'm saying, just trying to come up with a lot of quotes myself. And so I take the quotes from others and those who have it, who initially impact me, and then I share that with everybody else so they can become aware and stuff like that. So my page, for people who follow me on my page, they'll notice that that's what my page is like. It's all about motivation, positivity, and a positive motivator, because I want to make sure people understand that's who I am as a person. I'm a person that is going to positively motivate you, in a sense, to getting where it is you want to go, while I'm in the same boat, trying to get to where I want to be at. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm telling you, that ain't that because it's who you are. I still see you doing like that 15-second clip in the reel.
Oh yeah, now I'm gonna get those done. I'm gonna get those done.
Find that setting.
Yeah.
Because I see you like you know how and I know you can run with this shit. Imagine creating a setting and putting on some Buddhist style attire, right?
Get my avatar state, you know what I'm saying?
Put the Buddhist attire on, right? Have the bell, have the
I'm gonna have an incense. I'm gonna have an incense burning.
It's time. We got 15-30 seconds of this motivational message that I'm about to give the people right now. Whatever it is that ends up being your niche and your unique way of introducing that. But that particular background,
Mm-hmm.
and you just going and you giving them that quick 15 to 30-second clip and then leading them to the long form. Oh my God, that's gonna be amazing.
I appreciate that,
Gonna be
brother.
amazing. And
I'm get
that's
there.
just what's coming from my spirit.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I
I
mean?
feel it.
So,
I feel it. And you know
you
what's
know,
crazy? Look, and this is going back to the spirit thing, because my spirit has always put me in this certain type of form. And you know, I know the outfit. You know, I know you're thinking of the Buddhist outfit, but what my culture is, we wear all white, and I just got to give me a diadem. You know what I'm
there
saying?
you go. There
I
it goes.
put my diadem on, my
Or
white
like
on,
I'm just
and
giving
my
you
gold.
there you
Look,
go.
the
There
milk
it
and
is.
honey. Look, the milk and honey, and you know, I'm gonna run with it. Look,
That's what it is right there.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
is right there.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
just me inspiring the idea.
I appreciate that,
Um,
brother. Oh
but
man.
going to what we were going to go to in this second half, networking and nurturing key relationships
Yes.
outside of family. Now we're just
Yes.
talking about networking and nurturing key relationships within the space that we're in, and maybe even physical. um what was before you started taking social media serious, about
Hmm.
you said about a year ago,
Yeah. Hmm.
and more so even now,
Hmm.
um on the physical aspect, how were you networking and nurturing your relationships when you were traveling between LA, going to the East Coast, doing these modeling gigs, doing these, networking with these other creatives? Like, what was your approach to it, and what were you trying to accomplish?
Um, man, I for people really, what I was trying to do, and what I still do now is, especially when it comes to the physical, you know, the people who do for the who did the effort video, shot the effort video, Dopamine Media, right?
Right.
That's one of the most nurturing relationships that I have right now, other than I had with my engineer.
Okay.
Rest in peace to Avery Drift. But
Yes.
um how we nurture each other, man, I just support them. I tell them, I wake up every day, give them positive vibes, say good morning, or I rather I personally don't like saying good morning. I like
Good
saying,
day.
yeah, I'm
I
saying
say
you.
good day now.
I say
Top of
top
the
of,
AM.
yeah,
AM.
top of the AM, or I say top of the sunrise. You get what I mean? Like I utilize that form, a top of the sunrise, or you know what I'm saying? So and I just hit them with I appreciate you for being who you are. I appreciate y'all for, you know, the type of work that y'all do, and I love you. And I love the fact that you know you're pushing and doing everything and you can for your purpose, and in living in your purpose. You know, hey, let's can when do you guys have time? I can come over and chill. Let's talk about certain things. Let's talk about these different video concepts. Let's talk about when it comes down to shooting pictures, like what do you like, what do you don't like. I just try to build that, keep that relationship building, as hey, I like working with you guys. Maybe we're not working on a project right now, but we're in talks about working on a project in the future. Maybe we're not to meet together right now, but hey, I still want you to know that hey, y'all are in my corner. I don't want to really work with anybody else. Not that I don't want to work with them, but I will choose you over someone else in a heartbeat, because
Right.
I love what type of work you do. And what I tend to do is always let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna send some people your way. They're looking for some videography, or they're looking for some photography. I'm gonna
Right.
send some people your way.
Pay it
Just
forward.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man. And you know, this, if it's a person that is close to me, that's dear to me, that is someone like, you know what I'm saying, like a family or a close friend, I tell them, hey, this is somebody special to me, so make sure you take care of them. Or if
Mhm.
it's just somebody who is reaching out just to try to find a good dope people to shoot a video or whatever, then I say, hey, here goes some clients, or here goes some potential clients for you guys. I told them to go ahead and look you guys up, and you know saying, go ahead and work with you all, so you guys can you know, have some potential clients. And what that has done, and what I've noticed, is that they love the fact that I'm keeping in contact.
Mm.
You get what I mean? I'm not just, I don't have their contact just to have it. I'm supporting them in their dream, and they are supporting so much in our dream and in my dream, that do special things. They get special things done because they
Mm.
believe in me. And
I love
I
that.
remember I look, and a lot of people, I showed them how much I really love them and I appreciate them, because when I went to New York, man, I brought back special gifts for certain people,
Mm.
and they were one of them. They it was so funny because when we got back from New York, and I went over there so we can explain to them our experience in New York and stuff like that. You know, we were smoking weed at the time, and they were all like, man, we was looking, we've been trying to find a ashtray for the longest, man. We couldn't find one. And that's what I ended up bringing them back, unbeknownst to them. They didn't even know I was bringing it, and I didn't even know they was looking for an ashtray, bro. I just seen a nice, beautiful ashtray that had New York on it. It was very colorful, it had the little gold lining, it showed the Empire State Building on it. It was real dope. And I'm like, I don't really know what to get them other than camera equipment, because I know them, but I don't know too much of them. But I know, hey, we all like smoking, and I feel like this would be a great gift for them, bro. And when I got back from New York, and visit them a few days later, I presented that to them, man, and man, you don't even understand how grateful they was, bro. They damn near teared up and cried, because they literally told me, bro, we've been looking for one so much, and now you bought us one. And that's what made our relationship even more special, was
Mm.
because I thought about them, you know what I'm saying, and I bought them something that they was looking for and didn't even know, and I didn't know. It just, my spirit told me to do this, and that's what really happened. And so, I try to do certain things to that, who impact me, or those who I know give me a good impact. I try to impact them the same way as well, you know what I'm saying, and try to keep that relationship building and growing from there.
Is that the angle and the approach that you took towards social media? Because we know that social media there's two forms of it. You have the shark infested, scamming, fraud, bots, people that cry wolf, that say they need support, but they don't reciprocate the support. The negativity of other people's lives, the perception of people got it all together, when they're just providing you the good side of their life. There's so much in the midst of that. When did it become apparent to you that you can utilize this as a unique tool, a positive tool for you? And what was your approach before Unified Media? Because you said you were trying to speak it into existence.
Right.
A lot of these things.
It was a motivational quote, man. Honestly, I for over almost 2 years now, I believe it's damn near almost 2 years. Like, it's this motivation app that I found in the App Store, and somebody else had posted it on social media, and I seen it, and it touched me. And then I found the app, and I downloaded the app, and then I set it up to the point where it gave me different forms of motivation. But I always knew I wanted to be somebody who, always had a positive mindset, or give positive energy and positive feedback, or positive quotes to people. I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. But when I found that app, I just felt, you know what, I'm gonna start posting this in my story every day. I mean, every time it send me one, I'm gonna start posting, or anytime I see something positive, or something that can benefit somebody else, or affect them the same way it affects me.
Right.
I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna repost it. I did that every day, man. I kept doing it, and I still do it to this day, man. I just keep reposting and reposting and reposting. And I
imagine grabbing from that app and just utilizing your voice and the vision that we have for the for the setting, and you just starting off with just those particular statement lines, and you just saying those
and
statement lines,
hey, man, I'm look at you, because
hey,
we both
man,
look, we here.
I'm going crazy right now. I'm about to start going
Hey,
crazy.
Hey, no, because I thought about that too. I just haven't taken the time out to do so. But that's the next step. And here it is. You're confirming what my spirit has already been reaching and telling me to do. Look, you're just confirming it right now, bro. Like, because that's exactly that was going to be my next step with doing that. Was, you know what, let me start taking these quotes that I get and just start giving my little spill on it, or dropping a little gem on why I'm reposting.
And you know what's so special about that? That where you're getting these quotes from, right? They're gonna end up finding wave of you doing it from a visual aspect, right? And they're gonna repost that reel in their niche account, the meme account
Yeah.
that Brendan Kane was talking about, and
Yeah.
that's when you're gonna start getting the audience from those pages. But
Right.
whew, dropping
Man,
gems,
hey,
dropping gems. But
that's
continue,
what we
brother.
do. Yeah, man. And so that's basically that's the approach I took with social media. I'm like, you know what? If people start knowing me and noticing this is what I'm doing, and I did notice that when I post those, especially I would say within the last year, I've been getting 50, 80, 100 and something views. People been literally going on to my page just to do that. And I've gotten
Just to
followers.
soak that message up.
Yeah, I've gotten
Amazing.
followers from that just because they love watching my stories just for that. Like they don't care about what other content. They may fumble across some other content I have on there, but that's the content that they look forward to, those messages, and they look forward to that. And some to the point where some of them even comment on it. They repost my post of that.
You discovered the formula.
Yeah, like and I wasn't trying to. I just
No, of
knew,
course,
you
that
know what
was
I'm
you
saying?
being genuine, trying to keep yourself in that space for your sanity and for your journey, and then providing that to your audience.
Yeah, man. I mean,
And
cause like, not to cut you off, but I was just,
yeah,
I wanted, I'll tell you this. I think I said this in the last show too, but because when I used to get on social media, man, all I noticed that was on my social media was twerking videos and
right,
uninspirational things, right? And when I started cleaning my stuff up, that's what I wanted to make sure when every time I jump on my social media, I'm seeing positivity. I'm seeing something that I'm interested in, or something that is unique, but that is also like is gonna move forward. It's not gonna put us
right,
backward. It's gonna move us forward
right.
in life.
I
And
love
you
that.
know, that's what really got me motivated to doing my page like that, with just always posting those positive quotes on there. And I'm looking at the effects of it, man, and literally it's beautiful. And now here it is. I'm on a podcast speaking about the positivity and the different gems that I get from those quotes, because those quotes are like quotes that they're thinkable quotes. They're stuff that you sit there and think about. Like I posted one earlier today. Let me go to it, and it had it. Let me see what it was. I can't remember the exact thing, exactly what it said, but it was something to that positive effect. Oh, come on now. Don't play on me now. Look, it don't want to show up now. Look, the energy out there is going to look. They trying to stop your boy.
I got one.
Here it go.
Go ahead,
Here
go
it go.
ahead.
It says, "You are not designed for everyone to like you."
Mm,
That's a quote right there, because we all get caught up in wanting people to like us, or wanting people to support us, like family, like friends, and you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. But you're not designed for that. Some people are not gonna like what you do because they don't like themselves, or they don't feel that that's what they're capable of that. And so they're
mhm,
gonna find a way to be against that, and
of
that's
course.
cool. But you know, me waking up and seeing stuff like that, it lets me know, like, you know what, yeah, let me not take anything personal, because if somebody don't like what I'm doing, they just don't understand what I'm doing.
Mm,
And that's the bottom line of it. You get what I mean? And that's why I want to share that with everybody else, like let everybody else know, like, hey, don't get caught up with this social media stuff of them, you know what I'm saying, wanting these likes and comments and the support from
instant
people, and
gratification.
instant gratification, because it's not gonna that's not
Gonna
everybody's not
happen.
gonna like it. You know, everybody's not
Right.
gonna like you for that. Just do you, be
Just
you,
do you
be
and grow your community, grow your audience.
yes, man.
Everybody else is still gonna follow all the fake love,
Oh
all the
yeah.
hate, all the admiration. Because I'll tell you what, I said it in a record where it's admiration and a bit of envy. It's admiration and envy when it comes to people that hate on you. They admire that you're doing it in such a way that they can't do, but they envy it as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
like the love. It's a love and hate are positive and
it,
negative. You get what I
right,
mean? Love is the
right, right.
positive form of hate. And
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? That's what that is. So, you know, people hate to love something. They have to hate on it because they love it so much that they
mm,
feel they have to try to find the negative thing about it. They have to try to find something that they can point out to be like, oh, well, it ain't all that great because of this. But then at the end of the day, it really is the great content. So you're finding a reason why it's not, because you feel like it's too great, and it can't be that perfect. And it's just like, man, look, it can be that way. Stop, take it for what it is, and stop trying to make it something it's not.
What's so great about this conversation, and JC the Pharaoh is in the comments right now. I had a conversation offline with JC the Pharaoh before this episode, and he spoke to me about an incident where he has a family member that actually is envious of what he's doing. And
Wow.
his family member has plugs. I think the family member is a club promoter or a DJ or something and connected to the industry, and that they can actually utilize each other's resources to get JC to the next level. And literally, he's stifling his growth by not providing his record to the right people so the record can go even further. And this is his blood.
Hey, and see,
Hey,
it's
talk
there,
about it. Talk
man. See,
about it.
and that's what I mean. So then, now when JC gets to that level that person could help them get to, then man, I always knew, and I always believed in you. I always did this, but yeah, you didn't believe in me enough to help me get to the next level, because you feel like I'm not going to give something, or I'm not going to help you. If you help me get to another level, I'm not going to forget that that's what you did. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So I'm going to be generous enough to give you something back for that. I'm going to show you why I appreciate you for doing that to me. And then therefore, and you can utilize that platform. Hey, this person is the promoter. I'm gonna be performing at this club. Now you're bringing more prospects to that place because you got that record playing in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you both can win. But that's like we spoke to earlier, man. You got people envious of stuff like that, and trying to have, like, they have a hold of your whole, what they can do for you, and they utilize and take advantage of that, because they were like, well, you got to do something for me, or if you're not doing something for me, then I won't do something for you, and stuff. That type of mindset, and that's not cool, man. That's
They and they
trash.
and they also, I mean, when I noticed that people don't give just to give anymore. It's almost
Nah.
one of those things. Is like they give to expect something in return, or to have over your head. Remember, I
Mm-hmm.
did you that favor. You
Mm-hmm.
got, you made it. Now you got me.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
favors, and the favor doesn't match
Oh,
favor
ooh,
doesn't quite match the you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It's like, yeah, but
yeah.
what you did for me isn't quite equivalent to what you're asking for.
Right, right.
You
Oh
know what I'm
man, no,
saying?
I love those, man, because I really, those are the ones that give me that laugh, and I really, I ask for mercy. I ask God for mercy for them individuals and them souls, because you know what I'm saying, like, as much as we want revenge, He's gonna have the revenge at the end. Or karma's universe, whatever you believe in, is gonna have the revenge in itself, because it's not gonna play out for the other person, because they're
Oh
holding
no.
on to that.
Success is the root for me. I kill them with kindness, and I kill them with success. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I know that there's a lot of people out there that perceive me as the old me,
Mm,
and then there's people out there that are looking at me as the new me, and
mm-hmm,
kind of like they don't understand neither one. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? They don't understand that I'm not who I used to be, right? And now that I'm in this new phase of who I am, they can't quite even grasp it and have the energy or the fortitude to even be in my circumference anymore. It's like when you have a conversation with somebody and they think too small. You know
Mhm,
what I'm
mm.
saying? And they don't quite
Ooh.
understand. They don't quite understand. You're in a different space now. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even tell these people my aspirations because they're too big for them. You know what I mean? It's too huge. It's too huge to grasp. They don't quite understand it, like you said. So it's like sometimes you got to keep that shit to yourself,
Yeah.
because like you said, there's good and evil. There goes the evil eye. Subconsciously or consciously, it's going to be sent to you. So you
Mhm.
got to keep that shit to yourself. And I remember one time my sister would tell me, and I know she probably wouldn't like me saying this, but you know, she didn't like when I provided you know, when I spoke about my accomplishments online, pre or post. You know what I mean? She would want me to keep it to myself. But I told her, I said, the reason why I do it pre or post is because one, if it's pre, I believe it's gonna happen anyway. And two, if it's post, I'm inspiring and motivating the people that I need to touch.
Let's talk
Period.
about it, Jim.
You know what I'm
Jim.
saying? Like that's
Jim.
just what it is. If people are gonna take, there's gonna be two type of people that are gonna take it a certain way. The ones that are gonna take it and be inspired and motivated, and then the ones that are gonna be like that through the feed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Driving away,
yeah, you feel
driving
me?
away.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Again, my
I don't want to
apologies.
see that. I'm gonna go ahead and block that. I'm gonna go ahead and block this.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
And you know, and that's a lot of people tell me that too. And for me, I just have enough confidence within myself to know that, you know, if I tell you what I'm trying to do and you don't believe in me or you try to throw everything against me, I'm gonna remember that. I'm just gonna remember it and I'm gonna keep going.
They're trying to throw stones at you the way they did Jesus.
Hey, I gotta, hey, man, look, let's talk about it. Look, I got another song that called Grateful for the Stones that was thrown at my feet. Yeah, I
Come
started
on, how
bro,
is this even? How is it like, bro? I don't
because
understand,
look,
bro.
I have a song called Love, and that's basically what it stands for. It's like I took those stones that you threw at my feet and used it to climb up the mountain. Let's go, bro. Like, come on now. Like that, I love it when people do
throw
that.
Stones at me, I'll create stairs.
Man, come on
I'll
now.
create steps.
Come on. You get what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Stone steps at that. You feel me? Like,
bro,
that's the type of mindset you gotta have, because if you don't have that, then you know you don't fully believe in yourself. And there's been times that we don't, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't fully believe in ourselves, but you can't expect somebody else to believe in you if you don't believe in you.
in yourself. And that shit has to show in your work.
It do.
It has to show in your work, period. In some form or fashion, whatever the piece of content is, whether it's musically or through a form of acting or through a form of a message.
Anything. It don't even have to do. It don't have to do with that, man. If you want to be the best doctor on the planet, you can. If you want to be the best lawyer, go learn all of the laws.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And learn educate yourself on all of the laws. Because I got a friend right now. That's what she has a brother. She has a brother that went to jail, and he's in jail for something he didn't even do. And she went to law school just to go understand all of the laws and how to get him out and how to fight for people like him. How to understand them, how to interpret what these other people do and how they manipulate the law, and she utilizes it and gives it in her form of how to understand it in a way, just like the guy who went, the black dude, I forget his name, Wall Street Trapper. He went and understood how Wall Street worked, and then started speaking to it as if he was like he knew from the streets and how the streets work.
He broke it down.
He break it down like that
so you can understand it.
Right. And so, you know, but he believed in himself so much that you know, like, I got to keep doing this. And now his slogan is Wall Street look like us.
And you notice that his particular information, he utilized social media as a tool. And then now from the internet, from the I guess virtual, however you want to put it, is now pivoted into the physical, where now he's going and having these talks on, whether it's an interview, a podcast, a stage, you know, a school, a class, the streets, whatever the case may be.
Man,
he's all over now.
He is. And shout out to them, man. And now that was inspiration. I followed those because not just for the financial advice, but just the simple fact that inspiration right there, like to be able to speak. Like, of course, I love this dropping gems on YouTube right now. But man, imagine you see me in person right now. I'll be on stage. Man, oh my God, bro.
But that's
talking about this. I know.
And this is what the tool can lead to.
And it's going to. I believe it. I know it.
I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. I'm not gonna completely get off topic. We got about 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
But what I do want to say is I want to get back to where we were talking about social media and your approach to it before unified media. And then as you were edging towards taking social media a little more serious, that's when this was presented to you. What was your first instinct? Then digested through the times as it was going through its phase to what it is now. Break it into those three parts: the beginning, the middle, and now the present.
Oh man, in the beginning, it was. I'll say this, in the beginning
Because
is
this is networking.
yeah, the
This was
beginning is loving the ideas, falling in love with the idea, right?
okay.
The idea was presented, and I fell in love with the idea of what unified media was being created for, and what it was being utilized for. And that's what kind of sparked and grabbed me. It was like, you know what, man, I want to be a part of that, because that's who I am as a natural person anyway. I want to be able to be unified with a group of individuals, with a group of like-minded people, with a group of people who are, pushing themselves as well as inspiring others to push themselves, right?
Mm.
And I knew coming in, I'll be able to, do that, be effective in doing so, because I know what I can bring to the table, right?
Right.
And then as we're gotten into it, I started watching and seeing how certain things started taking place, or certain spirits started to, shift
Unravel.
and maneuver, certain things
Right.
started to unravel, relationships that had actually came in, and now nurturing some of those relationships
Some
within.
nurtured and some ended.
Yeah, some definitely. I mean, and it is what it is at the end of the day. I was kind of expecting that, but knowing what unified, with the idea of having unified, and knowing what its potential was, and where it will, where it can be going, and where it's going to now, is what I see. Is I'm still in love with that idea. Now I'm in love even now. So with the process of being part of it, and
Mm.
keeping that idea going, and keeping the concept going, and now putting forth the effort, and pushing and moving it, and it transpiring into us, having center stage, where we give music reviews of other artists, and coming together to the point where we have artists connecting with other artists who never even met each other, and they
Yeah.
making the songs together.
And
You
then
know what I'm saying?
making records together,
That
networking.
that was beautiful, and that's when I seen more potential in it. Like, oh yeah,
The power in it.
man, bro. Like, I was like, yo, this definitely can go. And if people can continue, if we can continue to nurture this, we're
Mm.
gonna be able to really get people really collaborating, and get all these type of sounds,
Create bangers.
create. I mean, talking about, still got some in the vault right now that we
Mm.
ain't finished yet. But
And there was nothing quite like this, but prior to Unified
no,
for you
no,
on
no,
social media.
no. I hadn't. I'll tell you right now. I haven't been in an actual group on social media to the point where people are showing love and supporting each other. Like, I've never been on that type of group on there. I don't think I've ever had that in none of my social medias, not even on Facebook. Nothing. You get what I mean? So this was
Right.
the first. This is the first for me
First,
to
and
be
the experience of it all.
and man, and I'm experiencing every bit of aspect of it, from the ups
Mm.
and downs of it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Until now, it's transpiring into the podcast, to where now we get to talk about the process, and where
Right.
it's at,
The behind
and
the
how
scenes
the
and everything.
behind the scenes and stuff like that, because it's still effective in my eyes. Being unified is still, and it always will be effective, if you come together on something, for the bigger picture, the bigger purpose. You play your part. You get what I mean? It's going to do what it's supposed to do. You're a part of the machine. You're a part. The machine can't work without having all of its members a part of it.
Creating the village.
You got to have a village,
the
man.
village.
Everybody got to be in the same thing. Everybody got to be doing the same thing. We all got to be a part of the same customs, or the same principles and morals. You know what I'm saying, of doing what's right, and what we know is going to help and work. And that's what I love about being in a part of this, man. And the simple fact, like we always talk about it, man. I knew I wanted to be in it, but then when I seen how I can actually be effective in it, that's when I asked for the seat to be sitting right here. And you know what I'm saying? Like I knew I could be effective in it. So I had to ask for the seat, and here it
That
is. I'm in
boy
the seat.
stepped up. He was like, "Yo, I think it was me and Survival at the time when we was
Yep.
working center stage, and this was in its infancy. And I don't even know if you was like in the first episode or second
I was in the
episode.
third episode.
You was in the third episode. That's when you asked for the seat, and you were
Yeah.
like, "Yo, is there another seat?" So I was like, "Bro, you more than welcome. Let's get it."
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I
And we
mean?
and we jumped right in it. It was smooth. And
And
now it's back to
successful.
us, and I'm hoping we get served back. Serve, stop bullshit.
Hey, man. Yeah, sir. We need you, man,
We need
because
the voice.
we
We need
need
the
that
voice.
voice, man. We definitely need that voice. But like, yeah, like this is beautiful, and understanding social media, and social media is how we was able to come together and connect in this way, and to build that audience to the point where now, you know, when one of us is in a position and sharing our content with each other, or sharing our content with our, with our audience and with other audiences, now you have the opportunity for other people to find those other things that they're attached to and connected to. You get what I
Right.
mean? Like this
Right.
gives the opportunity for some of the people who follow JR to know what he's doing, but then they see something that I'm doing over here and they like what I'm doing over here, and now they connecting and they can watch both of us now. They don't just have to sit
Right.
there and watch JR, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing
Right.
goes for JC and everyone else who's up in there, and who's been fully supporting. I mean, from what I noticed, man, shout out to the homie WAP for now, because when he got into the group, man, he got into the group based off of him just being one of the dopest artists
MC
that was on the dopest artist on the show, Center
on center
Stage.
stage.
And you know what I'm saying? And from there, his audience even grew, because I had people jumping on and looking at the music that he was dropping and doing. And you know what I'm saying? That helped him out. And he was so grateful and appreciative of that, for us sharing that, because you know, I'm not a person that, I don't hate against anybody and what they're doing, even if I don't understand it. You get what I mean? If I don't understand it, I'm gonna still support you and try to get you to the point to where I'll find some understanding. But those who may benefit from it, I want them to benefit from it the most, if it's gonna help them benefit from it. You know what I mean? I'm not selfish like that. I want somebody else to cherish the same thing. You get what I mean? And that's just what it is. And I'm gonna always do that for people, whether you do it for me or not. I'm gonna do it for you still, regardless, because I know it's gonna be effective for somebody else other than myself.
And it's been beneficial. The group itself, it's
Man,
worked
bro.
right in front of us, from
Oh,
all
bro.
those big accounts looking at you, watching you. What was the experience of Def Jam?
Oh man, Def Jam, they've been calling me. I didn't recognize the number for a while, but I've this was the second time I actually got a call and then a text message say, "Hey, this is Def Jam. Give us a call." And then I gave them a call. But you know, with social media, they have certain things, certain people that, you know, shark or pry on certain situations. But when I got a call from one of Def Jam's A&Rs, he was just like, "Hey man, is this the one?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, this is him." He's like, "Hey man, this is," I think his name was Drew or something like that. And he was like, "This is from Def Jam, man. Man, your song Effort, bro, that's a hit. That's gonna get you in the industry. That's gonna get you where you need to be at, because that song is a hit." And then he was supposed to call me back. And maybe he still will call me back. You just, you know, at the time he just didn't have the time to talk. And, you know, and I'm not tripping or worried about it. I'm waiting, because I know the effects of what effort can bring, but I'm not waiting around to see that, because I have other people who really want to support, or who's going to support. They're going to tap in and reach out to tap in, you know what I mean? And so, and that was a beautiful experience. But I didn't realize Def Jam knew about my record, who I was, or anything like that, because I'm just doing me, you know what I'm saying? But then I started looking at that, you know, I have accounts, blue check accounts. I was being tagged in certain things. And, you know, when they say, "Hey, tag this artist, because we trying to hear the hottest song, the hottest record, we trying to work with the hottest people," you know, they actually do be looking at that. You know what I'm saying? They be looking into the artists and who get tagged and stuff like that. And shout out to Royalty and Respect Records, because they keep hitting me up as well. They really messing with the song Effort. It didn't win one of their prizes that they had, but they thought the record was so great that they're trying to work out some type of form of a deal to where they can help push and promote effort, especially when the video come out. So I'm looking into something like that, man. You know what I'm
There it
saying?
is. There it is. And that's what we're gonna keep building on. You know what I mean? You gotta find those unique avenues on social media when it comes to networking and nurturing, and do your research.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a trial and error when it comes to these niche accounts, when it comes to these influencer accounts, that you don't go with the first deal right away, but you test out ones that your spirit speaks to, that you think you could get some results from. And if you get some organic results from it, if you get something significant from it, then you keep building with that influencer, you keep building with that niche account. Like the angle that I mentioned to Dewan with his motivational stuff, I know that's going to be a pillar and a key and a stepping stone to build his audience.
And you know what's crazy? My bad to cut you off,
Go
bro.
ahead, go ahead.
Effort is gonna be the song for it. That's
and,
gonna.
and what's so crazy, and that's what, bro, man, listen, man,
Yeah, I know,
that shit
bro.
is gonna be the audio to a
Yes.
lot of the material that's gonna be in the reels.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And what I like about the reels angle is the fact that when an audio piece starts getting a little traction, you get an alert. So if I
Mhm.
get an alert, that means everybody on fucking Instagram gets an
Instagram
alert.
gets an alert.
That's
Yeah.
billions of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So
I want to let you know right now, and this is not to discourage anybody that's a content creator, an influencer, a podcaster, artist, actor, whatever, musician, whatever. I'm giving you true numbers here based on the research that I've been doing. There's 39 billion people on Instagram, and then there's something to the effect of like 8 billion that are content creators.
that's a lot.
8 billion. So when you're talking about 8 billion people that are posting up pieces of content, your shit may get lost or it may get discovered.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the trial and error of it all. But what you have to focus on is, don't focus on the numbers, focus on the piece of content
And the impact,
and
man.
the
The
and the
impact
impact.
your content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get detailed. Be detailed about the content that you're pushing out. Be particular of it. Plan it out in the sense of what the content is going to be about. But it's like this thing in acting. When you audition for a role, don't think about if you're going to get the role or not, and beat yourself up when they're going to call you. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. They'll call you, whether it's a month later or 6 months later. That's just how the business works. It's the same thing with a piece of content. Don't beat yourself up and look at the numbers right away. It might get some fucking traction 2 months from now, 3 months from
Mm-hmm.
now, 6 months from
Mm-hmm.
now. It might get some heat because one piece of content caught waves after that, and then people go back to the other pieces. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And start sharing those. They go
Mm-hmm.
back into your body of work, create bodies of work, create those bricks, build that wall, build that empire, brick by brick, the way Will Smith says. And man, this was one hell of an episode.
Bro, I mean, and again, man, it's all about relationships. Like if you really wanna keep and build that relationship, man, you have to be able to relate. I have a reel that I speak to about that. You know what I'm saying? I say, if if we can't relate on anything, then we have no relation. You get what I mean? There
Mhm.
is no relation to it. We can't relate on anything, and that's fine, because you know what I'm saying. But don't expect to try to relate to me or to try to have a relationship with me if there's nothing that we have in common or can relate to. I need to be
Mm,
able to relate to you, so then we can that relationship can
can
be
build.
based off that can be built off of that, and then we
Right.
find more things to relate
Me
to us
too. And grow on.
and grow on. Yeah, man. Come on now.
Woo!
You know, this is
Oh,
this is this this
man.
this is who I am. Okay. We drop
Oh,
these gems all day long, but other than me doing music, man, I'm really the person that you want to be able to talk to. Like having these conversations like this. This
very
is this
important.
is this is who I am as a person, man. I really enjoy these type of intellectual conversation, because I want you to understand what perspective is, be the ability to see, and not just with your two eyes, but the ability to grasp and see beyond what is in front of you. You get
I
what I
want to
mean?
I want to be transparent for a moment,
Uh-huh.
because we usually we sometimes go over the time, and
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this. Um and I know it's something spiritual. I noticed that every time we're gonna have the prior to the show and coming home, there's this force and this tension that's not good. That's not good. It's like it's trying to discourage me and deter me from making sure this show happens, to give out these messages. And I don't know where the energy comes from, but I know I have to kind of switch it off and kind of push past that, so that way I can provide the message that needs to be provided, because it's so important. I get tense, like I don't, and it feels negative,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also happy that I'm doing this because this is what we want to do. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same token, every time I'm ready to come home, there's always like this force of energy that's like occurring, like the situation with the noise that was
Mm-hmm.
happening, that was you know what I mean, or any little thing when I walk in, it's like I'm almost bothered in a way, and it deters me from wanting to do the show, but I still have to do it because it's what needs to be done. Where do you think, what do you think the devil's always knocking?
Always, man. Look, I'll tell you this. And it's whatever everybody want, it's whatever you want to believe, but there's good and evil is always present at the same time. Light and
Mm,
dark is always present at the same time. You get
mm,
what I mean? Because in my room there's a light on, but then there's dark corners in here. There's places where the light's not touching. You get what I
mm.
mean? So
Okay.
both of them is in the same place at the same time. The whole idea of that is, are you still looking for the light and going towards the light, or will you suffocate in darkness?
Mm.
You get what I mean? And so to your point, yeah, there's always going to be something there negative, because, or something there that's going to try to deter you or
Turn
throw
you
you off
from
your pit, yeah,
for
throw you
throw
off
you
your
off
pivot.
the pivot.
You
Ooh,
know, I got to use the lines from
ooh,
my song,
go
bro, but
ahead, go ahead.
because it's just to see what you gonna do. It's just to see if you
Mm,
really about that. You know, when we speak a lot of the things into the universe and say that we want something, oh yeah, you gonna get tested. Or if you
you're
really
gonna be
want it,
battle.
you gonna
You're
find a
gonna
way to
battle.
get it.
Mm,
You gotta battle. Everything, war is what war is. You know what I'm saying? Everything is at war. War is wrong against right. So wrong
mm,
is always going to be against what's trying to be right, and that's where the world the confrontation is, the battle is. But if you are always on the right side, and you are always knowing what you're doing and the bigger purpose, like you say, you hold on to what you see, and you hold on to that what you know is going to be and what you want, then
right.
it's going to give you the ability, that pressure, I'll say this, that pressure
Mm,
allows you to think and allows you to come up creatively and in a witty way to get around it, to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Especially when people know how to work or be under pressure.
mm,
That's where the gyms are made under pressure. You know what I'm saying? So
mm,
when you know how to feel, when you can feel that pressure, then you understand where something's got to give, and so you find where that give is. You get what I'm saying? You
mm,
find what's gonna give, and you're gonna give up something that's not useful, and you're gonna give to something that is. You get what I
mm.
mean? That's
Absolutely.
just how that work, bro. Because it gets like that for me all the time. It gets
Yeah.
like that off. Like I still feel nervous getting in front. I've done this for over a year at my job, bro. I get up and I give I have to tell people, I have to give them information about how to start the day and how to go about how to go about the day, right? And
Mm,
what information they need to survive out in the day. And I don't get the same jitters and nervousness, but I always still get nervous, because it's like, I hope I don't say, I hope I don't mess up, I hope I don't do this. And right before I go, but the moment I start, everything goes away. It's all going. I'm in the element, I'm in the mode, and we're going, right? You know, some people that tell you, even some of the most renowned and professional performers will still tell you they get a little nervous when they get out on stage right before they start performing. You know what I'm saying? But then once they out there and they start, it goes away and they just jump right into what they are. And that's just that moment, like that being on the edge without jumping. You know what I'm saying? That feeling. It's just that feeling. And so and every time you get past that, man, you know what I'm saying, that's just what makes you great. You know what I'm saying? When you push past those things, you push past, you go to the next level. You get to the next level. You get what I mean? You have to push past to get to the next level.
We just hit 50K, 50,000 views. JC the Pharaoh.
Ooh, shout out to JC the Pharaoh, and it's good, man. That video, y'all go check that video out, man.
Definitely. God is good. JC the Pharaoh. Go hit that YouTube channel, subscribe to his YouTube channel, like the video, share it, relate to it if you do. And if you don't, still share it because it's a commercial banger.
Hey, you may not relate to it. It may not be something you into, but somebody you know is into it.
Absolutely.
You got what I mean? And that's what I mean by the support and the love. And that's the same reason why I share stuff that I may not fully be into it, but I know somebody else is gonna need that information.
Absolutely, absolutely. The one, before we head out, Effort, the video.
Yes.
When do you want to premiere it?
I'll be premiering that this Tuesday.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
I'll be putting out the teasers and everything on Tuesday, but it's gonna officially be on YouTube on Thursday the 21st. And I chose those numbers because, you know, it was funny. The Dopamine Media asked me why the 21st, because they want to push it out on the 16th, which was today. They want to drop the video today. They want it out like, yo, we need that out now, right? But I told them, I said, the numbers 7 and 21, it means something to me when you think of numerology. 7 in numerology means to be perfect or to be complete, right?
Okay.
And 21 is a dividend of 7 and 3. You know what I mean? So when you think about it like that, 7 means to be perfect, and in 21 days it means to build a habit. So therefore, there's your effort right there. You know what I'm saying? In order to be perfect, you got to take them 21 days to build that habit up, a consistency, and then therefore you will make that change or whatever you're trying to change for. And that's why I want to drop in on 7/21, because it's needed, man. And so that's the special significance about it dropping on July 7th, 2022. July 21st, 2022.
There you go. You got it. This Thursday, 7/21 is the official release for the Effort official music video. Tuesday, make sure you go hit that YouTube channel. We're gonna make sure that when he drops these teaser clips, we're gonna be sharing his YouTube channel so you guys can subscribe and hit that notification bell when the video does go live 48 hours after that.
You will get a notification of when the video drop live. Okay, so make sure you subscribe. The YouTube channel is exactly like how my name is without the underscores. ONTLDEJUAN. ONTL Dewan.
And that YouTube's already created, right?
Yes, that YouTube is already created. Matter of fact, you can go listen to the YouTube audio of Effort, just the audio version of Effort on my YouTube channel, on that same YouTube.
There you go. So you got his personal YouTube channel. Is the group YouTube channel out yet? Or is
no, it's not. That's coming. That'll be out officially by tomorrow.
Oh, so both channels will be out.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I already got. I have it set up. I just haven't actually made it.
Made it public yet. Okay, so you already heard what time it is. You got the ONTL, the One personal YouTube channel where you're gonna see the official release for the Effort video. 7/21 Thursday coming up. Tuesday, you'll be able to hit the notification, hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when it does go live. And then you also have the duo channel with him and his brother, ONTL 1 as ONTL Entertainment. And you make sure you subscribe to that as well. So whenever they're dropping duo projects, you get a taste of that too.
I'll tell y'all too. Yeah, we got a song. You can go listen to these songs. These songs is already out by ONTL. It's called Ain't None to It. That's already out on all major streaming platforms. And then there's a song with my other brother Isaiah. ONTL Zaya and ONTL Wan got a song called John Wick, excuse me. Yeah, we got a few songs that's out already right now, man. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and tap in with us. But the official video for Effort is coming out July 21st, this Thursday. So y'all tap in with us, man. We going up with it, man. Y'all gonna see us in live action, man. And I tell you right now, I've had a video on YouTube before, but this video is way different and way more special than that other one, man. I can tell you that right now.
Shout out to Avery Drift. This is going to be a tribute to
dedication to Avery Drift, who mixed and engineered that project, that song Effort. And shout out to the homie West killing it. He's the producer who made the beat, man. I got another song coming out with a production by him as well. He's a dope artist, man. A dope producer.
The one that shot it,
Dopamine Media. Those are the visuals. Those who are behind the visuals. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with Dopamine Media, and that's DOPEMIN Media.
There it is. This is Dropping Gems Podcast, Unified Media. Dropping Gems Podcast, episode 4. Sending it love, blessings, be safe. We out. See you next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to Unified Media, Dropping Gems Podcast. Let's get it.